In this video, I'm going to show you how I make art using IntraPaint. IntraPaint is a free and open source image editor made for combining digital art techniques with AI inpainting. The AI component is powered by stable-diffusion and runs 100% offline with no cloud services or subscriptions required. I've captured time-lapse footage of the process of creating a single image from start to finish. This will show how AI can be used to accelerate the artistic process without sacrificing creative control. Before I get started, I write out my plan for the image with the text tool. I start by adding public domain images as placeholders to be edited with AI later. I cut and transform image layers to fit them into the right places. I don't always start with source images like this. A quick sketch or AI-generated image works just as well. Next, I roughly sketch the first character, a person in a parka standing in the winter section of the image. Here I use AI for the first time, low-strength image transformation to clean up the first character sketch. I'll change the prompt every time I switch to a new area to describe the specific part of the image I'm editing. I move on to sketching the second character, a tree person in the summer section of the image. I use 2 low-strength AI edits to clean up the second sketch. Starting with low-quality scribbles and slowly fixing them is the same process I use for traditional art. AI makes it go 100 times faster. Stable diffusion doesn't create images with transparency, so here I manually remove the white background. I take a moment to tidy up the background images to make things easier for me later. Next, I paint the first character using the brush tool. IntraPaint supports pressure-sensitive drawing tablets and the MyPaint brush engine. That's good enough for now. Time for the second character. I decided I don't like how the divider image breaks up the scene, so I replace it with a simpler image. I also crop the image and adjust layer borders. Back to the characters. I use AI inpainting to refine them piece by piece. Every time I run AI inpainting, it takes about 2 seconds to give me 5 options. I either pick the best one or reject them all and try something else if none of them work. AI isn't giving me what I want here, even when I change the prompt. Redrawing rough details and adjusting the prompt and settings again should help. Results are still not quite right. I want my tree person to be more tree than person. I increased the amount the AI was allowed to change from 28% to 60% using the denoising strength slider. That immediately fixed the problem. Adjusting denoising strength often does that. That's exactly what I wanted for that character. Time to go back to the guy in the coat. Since I'm sending changes to their own layer, it's easy to erase and redo any part that's not good enough. Limiting AI changes to small areas makes it easier to control the process and get what you want. The characters are mostly finished. Next, I work on the background some more. I take a break from AI inpainting and draw the dimensional rift edges by hand. I've locked transparency on the outline layer, letting me recolor the lines easily. Just a bit more cleanup before I switch back to AI. Back to AI inpainting to add detail to the dimensional rift. For some reason, the AI really wants to add mountains here. I really should have finished the background first before refining the characters, but this worked well enough. I want these areas to be more symmetrical, so I copy and paste the right area over the left. AI inpainting blends in the edges and introduces just a bit of variation. The rift is good enough for now. I move on to the daytime sky area. I try out a few different variations. I really like the first ones, but they don't quite work with the rest of the image. I use the basic drawing, clone stamp, and smudge tools to guide AI inpainting results. These still aren't quite the results I want. I try a few different prompts before I land on one that works for me. A little more cleanup around the edges, then time to move on to the night sky. I start by painting over it with different colors to guide the AI to the aurora effect I'm looking for. I have to fight with it a bit. Stable Diffusion really wants to put a mountain lake landscape under the aurora. I need to do a lot more of the painting myself before Stable Diffusion understands what I want. I finally start to get results I like from inpainting. I decided a galaxy or nebula effect worked better than an aurora. That will do for now. Moving on to the summer area background. I want the characters to seem a little closer together, so I replace this distant foliage to decrease the sense of depth. This part of the process is my favorite. I really like the balance of randomness and control. I like that I get to control what it will look like in the end, but I also get to be surprised by the unexpected details AI adds along the way. Plus, it's very satisfying to watch the rough brush strokes near instantly transform into the finished details I wanted. The summer area is more or less complete. I decided to add a bit more of the nebula effect to the rift. I'm making a classic digital art mistake here, working on the wrong layer. I'll cut out all the time I spent fixing that. I move on to the last major part, the winter landscape. This section goes a lot more smoothly. AI inpainting works the way I want it to almost immediately. This section goes by faster than any of them. We're already almost done. The final step is to consider the image as a whole and adjust any parts that look incomplete or out of place. The extra space around the edges just takes away from the focus of the image, so I cropped it down a fair bit. I also flipped the image. This makes it easier to spot issues with the image that I might have been overlooking. I clean up a few missed details that still didn't seem quite right. The last major change is to the shape of the rift. It feels too inorganic and parts of it look awkwardly misaligned. That's easy to fix. I just push the borders around with the smudge tool, redraw the edges, and let inpainting fix the rest. I could keep polishing it, but I think that's a good place to stop. In real time, this took me about 6 hours to complete. I'd love to see what kind of art you end up making with IntraPaint or any clever techniques you discover. There's so much potential in AI-assisted digital art that's still waiting to be discovered. That's why I'm releasing IntraPaint for free. I want to make these tools and techniques as accessible as possible so everyone can benefit from them and improve on them. Download links, instructions, and tutorials are on the GitHub page linked in the description. Thanks for watching.